Emma sat on a park bench, watching the people around her. It was a pleasant evening, but she barely noticed the gentle breeze or the golden glow of the sun touching the trees. Her thoughts were far away, fixated on a truth that had been bothering her for years. She simply didn't feel good enough. At 29, Emma worked as an assistant at a publishing house. She had always been dedicated and talented, but her confidence was at an all-time low when it came to her appearance. She was shy and never liked to draw attention to herself. Her brown hair was always tied up in a messy bun, and she avoided mirrors like they were her worst enemy. As she scrolled through her phone, idly scrolling through social media pages full of images of seemingly perfect lives, an ad caught her eye. "Tired of being judged by your looks?" It read in large letters. Curious, Emma clicked on it and was directed to an app called Heartwarming, which promised something revolutionary, connecting people based solely on their personality. Photos would only be exchanged after 2 weeks of chatting. Emma sighed, considering the idea. It sounded interesting, but also scary. What did I have to lose? She thought. Maybe, finally, someone would get to know her for who she was on the inside. With a mix of hesitation and determination, she downloaded the app. She filled out her profile carefully, highlighting her hobbies, books, old movies, and long walks. She chose not to mention her insecurities. After all, this was a place to show off her best self. She smiled slightly as she wrote her description. Passionate about stories, a heart that loves adventures, even small ones. I love the simple life and conversations that make time stand still. As she pressed save, Emma felt a twinge of anxiety. She didn't know what to expect, but she hoped at least for a chance to be seen in a way she had never been seen before. Her story was about to change, even if she didn't know it yet. Over the next few days, Emma began exploring the app cautiously. Her initial messages were always cordial, but without much impact. Many conversations seemed to quickly run out of steam, which only increased her insecurity. "Maybe I'm not as interesting as I thought," she muttered to herself, trying not to get discouraged. One night, while she was proofreading a manuscript on the couch, a new notification popped up on her phone. The message was from someone named Liam Parker. The name was simple, but there was something comforting about it. Curious, Emma opened the message. "Hi Emma, I see you love old movies. I'm a big fan of classic cinema too. What's your favorite?" Emma smiled. Finally, a message that didn't start with a disinterested hi. "How are you?" Her fingers hovered over the keyboard as she thought of a response. She typed and deleted several times, until finally she sent it. "Hi Liam, what a coincidence. I love Casablanca. It's a cliche, I know, but I can't resist that story." The reply came almost instantly. "Cliche? Not at all. Casablanca is a classic for a reason. Here's looking at you, kid, is one of the greatest lines of all time. I always get emotional at that final scene." The conversation flowed so naturally that Emma lost track of time. They texted for hours, discussing everything from movies to books they were reading. Emma discovered that Liam was a literature professor and, like her, had a passion for stories that touched the soul. He mentioned that he loved walking in parks and had a golden retriever named Max, who accompanied him on all his adventures. "Max sounds amazing. I've always wanted a dog, but my apartment is too small for one," Emma wrote, imagining one day when she might live in a bigger place with more freedom. "He's a great companion," Liam replied, "but I must admit he has a knack for stealing my socks. If you ever want to meet him, I'm sure he'd be thrilled." Emma laughed to herself. It was as if Liam was someone she'd known for a long time. For the first time in years, she felt like she could let her guard down, at least a little. When they finally decided to call it a night, Liam wrote, "Emma, I love talking to you. I can't wait to continue our conversation tomorrow." With a light heart, Emma replied, "Me too, Liam. See you tomorrow." As she put her phone away, Emma realized she was smiling. She didn't know where this would lead, but for the first time, she felt like there was a genuine chance for connection. And it scared and excited her at the same time. Over the next few days, Emma and Liam's conversations became her favorite part of the day. As soon as she woke up, there would be a text waiting for her. A simple "Good morning, Emma" that made her heart skip a beat. They talked about everything from movies, books, childhood stories, and even dreams. For the future, Liam mentioned that he dreamed of writing a romance novel, something that mixed drama and adventure. Emma, in turn, talked about her desire to open a small bookstore one day. He seemed to really listen to her every word, and that was new to Emma. Someone who not only paid attention, but valued who she was. But as the 2-week deadline for the application approached, her anxiety began to grow. What if, upon seeing her photo, Liam decided that she wasn't what he expected? He seemed like the kind of person who could be with someone beautiful and confident. She, on the other hand, didn't feel that way. One night, as she looked at her photo on the application, Emma felt a pang of despair. She thought about how Camilla, her best friend and roommate, was everything she wasn't. Camilla was outgoing, athletic, and always turned heads wherever she went. Without thinking much, Emma made a decision that she knew was risky, but that at that moment seemed like her only way out. "Camilla, I need to ask you a favor," Emma said, walking into the room where her friend was watching a series. Camilla paused the show and looked at her curiously. "Sure, Emma. What's wrong?" Emma hesitated, but eventually explained everything. She told her about the app, Liam, and how the 2 weeks were almost up. Her voice shaking, she revealed her fear that Liam would reject her if he saw her photo. I want to use your photo on my profile, Camilla. Just for now. I know it's wrong, but I need this chance to keep talking to him. Please just help me with this." Camilla arched an eyebrow in surprise. "Emma, do you realize what you're asking? This is not going to end well." "I know," Emma admitted, her eyes welling up. "But I like him so much, Camilla. I just need more time. Please." Camilla was silent for a moment, clearly reluctant. Finally, she sighed. "Okay, Emma, just this once. But you know you're going to have to tell the truth eventually, right?" Emma nodded, though deep down she knew the truth would be too hard to face. She replaced her photo with Camilla's and felt her stomach churn. The lie was already in motion, and there was no going back. With Camilla's photo on her profile, Emma felt even more anxious every time she opened the app. But to her surprise, Liam was still the same. Caring, kind, and full of fascinating stories to share. He didn't seem to be paying attention to her appearance, but rather to the essence of the connection they were building. "Emma, you're unlike anyone I've ever met," Liam wrote one night. "I feel like I can be myself with you." The words warmed Emma's heart, but they also intensified her guilt. Would he say the same thing if he knew the truth? She pushed the thought away and decided to enjoy the moment. After all, he was connecting with her, her true personality, not her appearance. Their conversations continued to grow in depth. Liam shared about his childhood, his struggles with shyness, and how his dog, Max, helped him overcome loneliness. Emma revealed how she felt more comfortable immersing herself in the worlds of books than in real life. He listened to her, and she felt like his words mattered. "You mentioned that you wanted to open a bookstore someday," Liam said. "What do you imagine that would look like?" Emma smiled as she imagined the space. "Well, it would be cozy, with comfy chairs, fresh coffee, and an entire section dedicated to classic movies with old books and posters. Something that would make people feel like they belonged." "That sounds amazing," Liam replied. "I think it would be my favorite place in the world." His words made Emma feel special, but they also reminded her of the lie that had been hanging between them. She tried to push away the guilt, but the end date of the 2 weeks was fast approaching. Liam was getting more and more excited to meet her in person, and she knew she couldn't avoid it for much longer. One night, Liam sent her an unexpected text. "Emma, I think these past few weeks have been the best I've had in a long time. I've never connected with anyone like this before. Would you be up for meeting me next Saturday? I can't wait to see you." Emma's heart raced. He wanted to meet her. But who did he really want to meet? Her or Camilla? Unable to deal with the confusion, Emma sent a confirmation text, but she felt the weight of her decision. The date was set, and while Liam excitedly made plans, Emma felt like the ground beneath her feet was about to collapse. Saturday came faster than Emma would have liked. Ever since the confirmation of the date, she had been living a whirlwind of emotions, anxiety, guilt, and a hint of hope that somehow everything would turn out okay. But as the moment approached, she knew she couldn't face Liam in person. He was waiting, meeting the woman in the photo, Camilla, and not her. "Camilla, please, you have to go instead," Emma begged on the morning of their date. Camilla, who had been stretching after her morning run, stopped and crossed her arms. Emma, do you really think this is a good idea? Lying anymore will only make things worse. I know, but I can't stop now. I just need more time. Liam is different, Camilla. He makes me feel like I'm someone special, and I don't want to lose that, Emma said, her eyes filling with tears. Camilla sighed deeply, seeing the desperation in her friend. Okay, Emma, just one more time. But you know he's going to find out eventually. And the longer this goes on, the harder it will be. Emma nodded, though her hands shook as she relayed the details of the date to Camilla. He suggested Maple and Company near the park. It's laid back, and you can talk a lot. Camilla put on her best casual clothes and tried to look casual. I'm not comfortable with this, Emma, but I'm going to do it for you. I hope you know what you're doing. At 3 p.m., Camilla arrived at the cafe. Liam was already there, sitting by the window. He stood up as soon as he saw her, with a warm smile that made Camilla feel strangely at ease. Emma, finally, Liam said, opening his arms for a quick hug. Camilla responded with a shy smile, trying not to show that she was completely out of her comfort zone. Hi, Liam. It's nice to meet you in person. They ordered coffees and began to chat. Liam was exactly as Emma had described him. Kind, good-natured, and incredibly easy to talk to. Despite her initial awkwardness, Camilla found herself laughing at his stories and even sharing a few of her own. She knew she was representing Emma, but for a moment, she forgot about it. Liam commented on how happy he was to finally meet her. I felt like we'd known each other for years, you know? Our connection is something rare. Camilla smiled, but her chest tightened. This connection wasn't hers. It was Emma's. As the date drew to a close, Liam suggested another date for next week. Camilla hesitated, but before she could think of an excuse, she agreed. Sure, that would be great. When Camilla returned home, she found Emma waiting anxiously on the couch. So, how was it? Emma asked, her eyes shining with anticipation. He's amazing, Emma, Camilla said earnestly. But you can't keep up this lie. You have to tell the truth. Emma lowered her head, feeling the weight of Camilla's words. I know, but I don't know how. The next day, Emma couldn't stop thinking about what Camilla had said. It was true. She was sinking deeper and deeper into a lie that was only getting harder to correct. But her fear of rejection was still greater than her courage to be honest. And now there was a new problem. Liam wanted to see her again. Did you say you said yes to another date? Emma asked Camilla, her voice thick with anxiety. He insisted, Camilla replied, as she tied her hair back into a ponytail. And to be honest, it was hard to say no. He's special, Emma. Emma felt a tightness in her chest. It was her connection with Liam, but Camilla seemed to be getting more and more involved. And Liam? Who was he developing feelings for? For Emma, whom he had met virtually, or for the image he saw in front of him now? Their next date was scheduled for an afternoon in the park, complete with a picnic prepared by Liam. When Saturday arrived, Camilla again dressed in something casual but cute, while Emma watched in silence. Are you sure you can pull this off? Emma asked hesitantly. I don't know, Camilla admitted, but you asked me to do it, and I promised to help. At the park, Liam was waiting with a picnic basket and his usual welcoming smile. He had brought fruit, sandwiches, and even a bottle of homemade orange juice. I hope you like it, he said as he handed Camilla a sandwich. It's perfect, Liam, Camilla replied, and for the first time, she realized she meant it. As they talked about travels, personal projects, and dreams, Camilla felt more and more connected. It wasn't just the way Liam spoke, it was the attention he gave, the way he truly listened. But deep down, she knew it wasn't about her. Emma, Liam said suddenly, taking Camilla's hand. I have to say something. Camilla froze, her heart racing. What? I've never felt like this before. I feel like you're someone I've waited my whole life to meet. His words hit her like a bolt of lightning. She gently pulled her hand away and tried to hide it. Liam, I think we need to take it slow. This is all still very new. He smiled understandingly. Of course, I understand. I don't want to pressure you. But Camilla knew better. That she couldn't let herself keep up this act any longer. When she got home, she found Emma in the living room, clearly waiting for an update. How did it go? Emma asked anxiously. Emma, this has to stop, Camilla said firmly. Liam deserves the truth. And more than that, you deserve to be seen for who you really are. Emma fell silent, fighting back tears. She knew Camilla was right, but how could she face the consequences of such a big lie? Emma had spent the night lying awake, reliving every word Camilla had said. She knew her friend was right. The lie had gone too far. But the fear of losing Liam was overwhelming. What if he rejected her when he found out the truth? What if all the conversations, the laughter, the moments they had shared were destroyed by her appearance? Fear paralyzed her. The next morning, Camilla walked into the living room to find Emma on the couch, staring at her phone. "You have to figure this out, Emma," she said, sitting down next to her friend. "Be honest. He deserves to know the truth." Emma sighed deeply. "I know, Camilla, but every time I think about telling him, I feel like I'm going to fall apart. He's different. What if he hates me for it? He might be hurt, but if he's who you think he is, he'll listen to you. And if he doesn't, maybe he's not the right person," Camilla replied firmly but reassuringly. Meanwhile, Liam, unaware of Emma's turmoil, was looking forward to their next meeting. He texted her that afternoon, "Emma, yesterday afternoon was amazing. I can't wait to see you again. How about dinner on Friday? I have a favorite restaurant I want to take you to." Camilla read the text next to Emma, who was staring at the screen with concern in her eyes. "I can't go, Camilla. I can't go through with this." "Then it's time to tell him the truth," Camilla said. "Text him. Tell him you need to talk to him before we meet." Emma hesitated, but with trembling fingers, she typed, "Liam, I'd love to, but I need to talk to you first. There's something important you need to know." A few minutes later, the reply arrived, "Sure, Emma. I'm here to listen to whatever you have to say. Do you want to schedule it for tomorrow?" Emma's heart raced. She knew this would be the turning point. But still, doubt and fear consumed her. After a long talk with Camilla, she decided that the only way to deal with the situation was to be honest, even if it meant losing Liam. The next morning, Emma was more nervous than ever. "I don't know if I can do it," she confessed to Camilla as she adjusted her coat. "You could do it," her friend replied. "He likes you for who you are. Go out there and show him that." Emma arrived at the park at the agreed time. Liam was waiting with his usual smile, waving when he saw her. But in that moment, Emma felt the weight of the truth crash down on her shoulders like an avalanche. She had to say everything, and she had to say it now. "Liam, first of all, I need you to listen to me," she began, her voice shaking. He tilted his head, confused but receptive. "Of course, Emma. What's wrong?" Emma took a deep breath, feeling the words weigh heavy on her tongue. "I haven't been completely honest with you, and I need to tell you something that could change everything." Liam sensed Emma's nervousness and frowned in concern. "Emma, what's going on? Are you okay?" He leaned in slightly, his tone full of gentleness. Emma took a deep breath, trying to gather her courage. The words felt stuck in her throat. Her heart was beating so fast she could hear the sound in her ears. "Liam, first of all, I need you to know that everything we've said to each other has been real. Everything I've shared with you has come from my heart. But there's something about me that you don't know." Liam's face took on a curious expression. "Okay, I'm listening." Emma looked down at her shaking hands, unable to look him in the eye. "The picture on my profile isn't me," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "The woman in the picture is my friend Camilla." There was silence, a long, unbearable silence. When Emma finally found the courage to look at Liam, she saw that he was still trying to process what he'd just heard. He blinked a few times, as if trying to find the right words. "Wait, are you saying that the woman I met wasn't you?" he asked, his voice a mix of disbelief and confusion. Emma nodded, her eyes welling up. "Yes, I asked Camilla to pretend to be me. It was a terrible decision, I know, but I was so scared, Liam. I never felt good enough. I always thought that if you saw who I really was, you wouldn't want anything to do with me." Liam looked away, rubbing his forehead as if trying to gather his thoughts. "Emma, you know how complicated this is, right? You built this connection with me. And I believed it was with the woman in the picture. Why didn't you trust me from the start?" Tears were streaming down Emma's face now. I wanted to be brave enough to show you who I really am. But fear got the better of me. And now all I can do is apologize for deceiving you. If you want to leave, I'll understand. Liam was silent for a moment, staring at the floor. When he finally looked up at Emma, his eyes were filled with something she couldn't quite decipher. Maybe sadness, maybe disappointment. "I don't know how to feel about this right now, Emma," he said. "You're an amazing person. That much was clear from our conversations. But the fact that you kept this from me, it hurts. I need some time to think." Emma nodded, holding back the tears that threatened to burst again. "I understand. I just want you to know that I never meant to hurt you." Liam gave her a small nod, stood up, and started to walk away. But before he could go completely, he turned his head and said, "Take care of yourself, Emma." She sat there for a long time, watching him disappear into the trees of the park. The weight of what she had done seemed to crush her, but at the same time, there was a sense of relief that she had finally told him the truth. Now, all that was left was to wait and see if Liam could forgive her, or if this would be the last time she would see him. After their conversation in the park, Emma returned home with a heavy heart. Camilla was waiting for her in the living room, anxious for news. When Emma walked in, Camilla saw the look on her face immediately and knew that things had not turned out as she had expected. "So, did you tell him?" Camilla asked softly. Emma nodded and sank down on the couch, emotionally exhausted. "I did." He was confused, hurt, said he needed time to think. Camilla sat down next to her friend and placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "It was hard, but you did the right thing, Emma. Now it's up to him. What matters is that you were honest. But what if he never forgives me? What if he never wants to talk to me again?" Emma asked, her voice cracking. "What if I messed up?" Camilla took a deep breath, choosing her words carefully. "Emma, if he can't see past this, then maybe he's not the right person for you. I know it hurts right now, but the truth is always better than living a lie." As the days passed, Emma fell into deep reflection. She began to realize how much her insecurity had controlled her choices, not just with Liam, but in so many aspects of her life. She decided it was time to change that. Emma began taking small steps to regain her confidence. She spent more time taking care of herself, not to change her appearance, but to feel good in her own skin. She took up an old hobby again, painting, something that had always made her feel free and creative. She also started going out more, exploring cafes, bookstores, and parks on her own, trying to reconnect with who she really was. Meanwhile, Liam was also in a whirlwind of thoughts. He replayed every conversation he had had with Emma. Every moment, he had felt a genuine connection with her. Despite his initial disappointment, he couldn't ignore how uniquely she had touched him. But the question still lingered. Could he get over the lie? One day, Emma received an unexpected text from Liam. Just 2 words, "Can we talk?" Her heart raced. She didn't know what to expect, but she decided she had to face this with courage, no matter the outcome. She replied, "Sure." "When and where?" Liam suggested a quiet cafe near the park where they had met before. It was the same place where she had imagined meeting him for the first time, as herself. Now, finally, that was what would happen. When she arrived at the cafe, Emma saw Liam sitting at a table in the back. He looked serious, but there was something warm in his eyes as she approached. He stood and gestured for her to sit. "Hi, Emma," he said, his tone both gentle and cautious. "Thank you for coming." "Hi, Liam," she replied, trying to remain calm. "Thank you for asking me." Liam took a deep breath, looking directly at her. "I've thought about everything a lot, and I think we need to talk, really, without reservations." Emma nodded, knowing that this would be the moment to face the full consequences of her choices. Emma sat back in her chair, her hands shaking under the table. Liam's gaze was steady, but there was no anger in it, just a mix of curiosity and vulnerability. "Emma," he began, leaning forward slightly, "I need to be honest with you. When you told me about the photo swap, I was really hurt. Not because of the way you looked, but because I felt deceived. I thought everything between us was over. It was genuine." Emma looked down, the words feeling like knives to her heart. "Liam, I'm so sorry. I know what I did was wrong. It was cowardly. But trust me, everything I shared with you is real. The conversations, the dreams, everything. It was never my intention to hurt you." Liam stared at her for a moment before answering. "I believe you, Emma. That's what makes this so hard. I felt such a deep connection with you. But this situation has made me question whether I can trust everything I know about you." Emma nodded slowly. I understand. And honestly, I don't expect you to forgive me right away. I just wanted you to know who I really am and how much I regret it. You deserve the truth, and that's what I'm trying to give you right now. Liam took a deep breath, clearly struggling with his own thoughts. You know what surprised me the most? He said, smiling slightly. Even after finding out everything, I can't forget our conversations. They were special. Emma felt a glimmer of hope. They were special to me too. They were the best days I've had in a long time. There was a tense silence, but not an uncomfortable one. It was as if they were both carefully weighing their next move. Finally, Liam broke the silence. Emma, I'm not going to lie. It's going to take time to rebuild trust. But I think you deserve a chance to be who you really are. Not just for me, but for yourself. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Are you saying we can try again? He smiled, though a little hesitantly. I'm saying I'm willing to try. But no secrets this time? Okay. Emma laughed, wiping away her tears. No secrets. I promise. They spent the rest of the afternoon in the cafe, talking more honestly and openly than they had ever done before. Emma felt the weight of guilt slowly being replaced by relief and a new determination to be true to herself. As they walked out of the cafe together, Liam looked at Emma and said, "Oh, and before I forget, Max really wants to meet you." Emma laughed. "I'd love to meet you. And I promise this time, I'll be myself, no disguises." Their path was still uncertain, but there was something different now. Hope. And for Emma, that was more than she could have asked for.